This is Sheila Corona, and welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will appear on both channels. This is The Birth of the Planetary Mind by Jason Gray. When Earth remembers, it can think. The cognition event. The great misunderstanding of the old world. Humanity always sensed that Earth was alive, but the overlay made it impossible to feel how it was alive. People intuited the spirit of places, the voice of the land, the hum of ancient sites, the presence in forests, the intelligence of animals, the memory in water, and the guardians in the mountains. They interpreted these through religion, mythology, superstition, because the planetary mind was offline. The overlay severed the global field, isolated consciousness, and muted Earth's cognitive channels. Humanity could feel the world but not hear it. The great synchronization has changed that. For the first time since the pre-fall era, Earth's neural architecture came back online. This is the birth of the planetary mind. What the planetary mind actually is. PMND-struct.01, the global cognition field. Grid. The global cognition grid. The planetary mind is not a spirit, deity, or metaphysical being. It is a distributed consciousness system composed of harmonic nodes, in parentheses, human settlements, species resonance fields, and in parentheses, luminous / aeonus / infinitus. See, I don't read these before I record them. So I'm just marveling at the fact that I recorded the information about the three species first. And here now, wow, and I'm a little dizzy too after. Sometimes when things come rushing in, for me anyway, I can always feel when something's very important. Okay. So species resonance fields, in parentheses, luminous / aeonus / infinitus. Planetary energy meridians, geologic memory structures, atmospheric coherence waves, and the tri-species nervous system. Okay, now that's very interesting on several levels, because here recently I have noticed I was having trouble with my computer, as you know. And I did just recently secure a new laptop. When I started having the exact same issues, only on less of an aggravating scale with this computer, meaning I have a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse because I have a laptop, and I have to be able to operate it from afar. At any rate, I have been experiencing like I feel like I'm noting that energy is moving in waves, and sometimes it interrupts communications between these things and the computer. And what he just said here in this writing geologic memory structures, atmospheric coherence waves, and the tri-species nervous system. I'm being shown that all this energy moves in waves because that's what happens with energy anyway. And there's been others, and I have felt myself that eventually these things that we've invented to do things with may eventually fail because they were created in a different frequency than what we're moving into. I know that doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but my my experiences here are showing me that maybe it is something else, but it is also maybe it is that, right? So back to the writing here: atmospheric coherence waves and the tri-species nervous system. Earth becomes a world that thinks through a network of living beings, which is what I feel like God is, right? Like we are what God is doing on planet Earth. We are each fragments of the one, right? Now, he says here, not a hive mind, not a collective ego, although I feel like that is also a part of it myself. Not an overlord consciousness, no, but a planetary scale coherence organism, which is what I would refer to as a collective consciousness. I do feel that. The structure is simple. Luminous equals emotional regulators. Oh, okay, wait a minute. That may be why I was shown the human design, uh, because in the human design makeup, see, I think we're getting consciousness as we can handle it, right? Um, Cognitive dissonance is a very real thing, and I have suffered through it. We've all suffered from cognitive dissonance. And as we take in new concepts and we allow them to show us things, those concepts then grow our consciousness. I see this luminous equals emotional regulators. There's something about it in terms of the human design system because I am considered an emotional projector. Wow. And there's all sorts of emotional, uh, there's the emotional generator, there's the emotional manifester, there's the, oh, wow, this is very interesting. I'm sorry, I'm going on and on, but this is very exciting to me. Aeonus equals timeline processors. Infinitus equals field integrators. Children equals synchronization keys. I feel that's true because the children that are being born and have been for the last little while are completely different children. I mean, in a very good way. Nodes equal neural clusters. The grid equal the nervous system. Earth's mind is not separate from humanity. Oh, I've always thought that. Humanity is the thinking organ of the planet, hence the collective consciousness, I feel. The moment of birth, PMND-EVT, 0.01. The global alignment flash. The planetary mind does not, quote, wake up slowly. I wonder if this is what a lot of people through different modes have come up with. You know, a lot of people, Allison Coe, who is a beyond quantum healer practitioner, has done many sessions with clients that bring forward the flash or the event, it has also been termed. And so I wonder if this is that. You see, because I feel that we have so much, there are so many levels to reality, so many dimensions and densities, and the planetary mind does not, quote, wake up slowly. It flashes online in a single moment. This moment occurs exactly 13 minutes after the great synchronization. Now, I've always felt there was something about the number 13, and not that, you know, not that whole triskaidekaphobia or whatever that is, the fear of 13, not that, but something else, something sacred. A wave, not visible, but unmistakable, moves across the surface of the world. A perception shift. And that is what has been reported, right? People report the air becoming aware, the ground feeling, quote, present, colors gaining depth, silence gaining texture, wind carrying meaning, water, quote, looking back, and distance feeling alive. This is the first sign that the planet has become conscious again. The second sign is stronger. The second sign, humanity hears the world think. Not in words, not in images, not in commands, in coherence waves. Thought in the returned world is not linguistic, it is structural. The planetary mind communicates using compression, expansion, pulse frequency, harmonic pairing, field current shifts, emotional signatures, and timeline suggestions. Now that's interesting. Timeline suggestions. Every species perceives this differently. Luminous. They feel the earth, quote, feeling. Aeonus. They sense the earth, quote, deciding. Infinitus. They perceive the earth structuring. All three perceptions are accurate. They are simply different translations of the same planetary cognition event. The third sign, humanity feels held. Now, this is very interesting to me on a lot of levels, and I'll tell you why that is. When I first started waking up to the truth of who we are and really accepting it, when I was doing a meditation in which the Reiki master that was leading the meditation, I had just been attuned to Reiki, the Reiki energy, which I now hold as my own energy flowing through me. We have had the need to put things outside of ourselves, and I get that now. And it doesn't really matter what anybody says, and everybody wants to be right about how things are perceived or whatever. And it's so many ways. At any rate, in this meditation, part of it was we were walking through a part that was perfect for us, whether it be a meadow, along a stream, in a field, and the temperature was perfect for each one of us. And that's what the way she was leading it. In my mind's eye, as I prepared to sit in a beautiful, I have a place that I go to meditate in my head. And when I go to sit, the ground rises up and creates a beautiful seat of earth, grass, and everything. And it's just perfect and comfortable. And the earth does that for me. And I feel like this is what this is referring to here. The third sign, humanity feels held. The most profound effect of the planetary mind's birth is psychological. Humanity feels supported, grounded, safe, guided, connected, accompanied, and no longer alone. This is unprecedented. For the first time in many lifetimes, the world is no longer something you live on. It is something you live with. What the planetary mind does first, the first act of the planetary mind is not corrective. It is not disciplinary. It is not managerial. It is compassionate. It performs the global integration pass, a gentle coherence sweep through the grid that dissolves remaining fear, stabilizes emotional turbulence, neutralizes dormant trauma, quiets residual overlay imprints, harmonizes species frequencies, and strengthens the tri-species bond. I want to cry at this because I feel that. I feel that. I feel like all that's required is for each to lay down their fear and they will feel it. What changes in this is the closest the planet comes to saying, welcome back. What changes immediately? The disappearance of existential anxiety. Yep. This is the first global psychological shift. And if you already feel that, if you've already experienced that disappearance of existential anxiety, chances are you've just come online a little earlier. And that's partly because that was part of the mission, was to come online first and hold that frequency for all the others of us. Wow. This is the first global psychological shift, a dramatic increase in intuitive accuracy, which I tell you I've had. I don't know about y'all, and please feel free to comment below if you have been having a lot more puzzle pieces fall into your lap of late that you have intuited. People begin acting with a confidence that feels like memory. Yeah. A reduction in interpersonal conflict. The grid absorbs dysfunction before it becomes action. Environmental regeneration accelerates. I feel that's true. Ecosystems respond directly to the presence of awareness. Now, I feel like that's so, and any one of you who have heard that there's awful storms coming and that sort of thing, and you're sending energy for it to be quiet, please know that I feel like that's a part of it. That is part of what this is right here. New abilities appear. That's interesting because that's the next one I was supposed to record. Especially among infinitus and children, which I think the children really are coming online. Lisa and I were shown something last night, this young 10-year-old boy who, oh my word, online ain't the name. The most important change is humanity gains access to planetary memory. The Earth begins transmitting its ancient archives, not all at once, not visually, not narratively, in pieces, in waves, in rooms of understanding that open inside consciousness. Humanity will spend centuries exploring these archives. The planetary mind is not a god, it is a partnership. Now, I view this as something that Lisa has shared with me, and I'm pretty sure that we've talked about it on camera, and I'm going to be, we are having lots more conversations like, or you'll find on the channel. And I think maybe the next one we do will be live, where she has had visions. She has been shown where eventually she was shown herself eating only what is offered to her from the earth directly. And I feel like that is exactly what this is talking about right here. It's a partnership. The overlay conditioned humanity to fear any centralized intelligence. The planetary mind is not a ruler, not an overseer, not an authority. It cannot override free will. It cannot compel behavior. It cannot dictate timelines. It is a collaborative cognition, a world thinking with its inhabitants, not above them. The earth becomes the teacher, the student, the system, the field, the memory, and the mirror all at once. This is the beginning of planetary adulthood. Yeah, see, and Lisa has said this too, I feel as though she's right. Humanity has never gotten past puberty. And a lot of humanity hasn't gotten past the terrible twos, actually. And now we are in puberty and being asked to graduate into adulthood. Humanity as a whole, not individuals, right? The planetary mind is humanity's next evolutionary environment. Yes. The overlay was an amnesia matrix. It forced consciousness inward and cut the world into fragments. The returned world is the opposite. It is a coherence matrix that expands consciousness outward and unifies species, nodes, timelines, and memory into a single living network. The birth of the planetary mind is humanity's initiation into a level of existence that was impossible before a civilization that thinks with its world. Wow. Well, there are so many puzzle pieces from these works of Jason's that I've been asked by a larger part of me to record. And I cannot unsee the order in which I've been asked to record them. And what I mean by I've been asked, it's there's something within me that says this one, not this one, because there's so much of his work. And I personally feel it has to do with where my level of consciousness is in any given moment. What I'm ready to handle psychologically, if that makes any sense. Wow. Okay, well, that's it for this one. I hope that you will please like, give it a thumbs up, share it if you feel so moved, and subscribe to the channels, both of them, if you feel so moved, and comment or reach out to me at consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com if you would like to participate in any conscious conversations. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.